Hello and welcome to Low Carb Conversations. I'm your host, Leah Williamson. I'm with my host, Holly Jean. Welcome, Holly.
Hello. Hi, Leah.
Hello. We've got a special episode today. We have a fun friend on with us. We have Patti McCoy. Welcome, Patti.
Hello. Thank you.
Hi,
Patti is, welcome. Patti is my associate instructor for our September class for our Nutritional Therapy Association class. Trying to get my words out today. And Patti are you a functional nutritional therapy practitioner?
Yes, yes, I am functional.
Got the F in front.
Got the F.
And she's been a course mentor for the Nutritional Therapy Association. She's now an associate instructor. She's got a business called, let me get this right, Nurture by Nature Nutrition.
Got it.
Got it. Welcome, Patti. How about you tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what led you to study to become a functional nutritional therapy practitioner?
Well, thank you for having me. This is very exciting. I get to meet all these great people. So I have my own, we always have our own personal journey, and I was having some stomach issues, digestive issues, and the doctors would always tell me that everything's fine and your blood work is fine and everything's great, but I didn't feel great and it was awful. I learned about paleo and I kind of went down that avenue for a long time. I did my first Whole30 in October of 2013, and I've done 5 of them since. That really helped me kind of identify food sensitivities that I was having and was unaware of. And then through all of my learnings with paleo and all the social media and Instagrammers, and I knew that I wanted to share my experience with others and help others feel better. I love to cook, so I tried that avenue first. It wasn't as fun as I thought it would be. And I discovered the NTA through one of the social media influencers that I follow, Cook by Color. And she's amazing. And I was like, oh my gosh, this program sounds so what I'm after. And I researched the values and I looked at the community, and it was just so welcoming and loving, and really identify the bio-individuality and the whole foods, nutrient dense diet that really worked for me with the Whole30 and paleo lifestyle. So I decided to just jump right in, and I graduated in June of 2020. So in the middle of the pandemic, which was great. And I just love the NTA so much that I just wanted to stick with it. And I was been a course mentor twice for 2 classes. And now I'm an associate instructor, and it's just been such a wonderful experience. And I love the community so much.
That's so awesome. And yeah, to get through it in the middle of the pandemic and still graduate, good. Congratulations to you. You got through it. You're probably in like one of the last classes to go through with the functional in front of it.
Interesting fact is our second workshop was the weekend that the world shut down.
Oh,
it was March 12th through the 15th of 2020. So everything happened while we were just having a great time.
Yeah. I know that well, because the week like that last weekend in February, I was in Portland for the nutritional therapy conference, the last one, and everywhere I was going, everything was shutting down, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, am I going to get back home to Australia?
Yeah.
And that was the last overseas trip that I had. So yeah, and everything was on the news. It seemed so weird. It was just like, and then if we hadn't known what was going to happen after that.
Right.
Yeah.
Real crazy.
Crazy. So you've had quite the journey, and I love how your experience and finding what worked for you, obviously you bring a touch of that into your business. So tell us a little bit about Nurture by Nature Nutrition.
Well, I am a nurturer by nature, and I also think that's how people should eat, is nurture their bodies with natural foods instead of things that come in a box or a package of some sort. While they taste delicious, they are not great for our bodies. So I just wanted to share my experience and share what I learned from the NTA with others. And so through that, I identified that just basic skills were really my niche. So my priority is just to teach people about basic digestion, lifestyle changes that they can make, cooking tips, because I'm good at that. So I can give them some really good recipes that are easy to prepare, with simple ingredients that don't require a lot of just like 20 ingredients or things like that. That's just ridiculous. And just really kind of getting to the root cause of what's going on with them. I haven't had that many clients. I've had like 5 clients, but they've all been of different backgrounds and different needs. I've had a client with ulcerative colitis, which requires significant in-depth research and knowledge. And then I've had someone that was, just kind of like, I just want to eat better and live my life. So it's really just what that person is really needing and where they're at. Like we talk about all the time, just meet them where they're at and help them navigate changes in a healthy way that helps them get to meet their goals.
That's great. And it doesn't matter if you've only had a handful of clients, because you've learned so much knowledge through the Nutritional Therapy Association. So like it really equips you to get out there and start working straight away with all this knowledge that, just it's like so dense, the information that you learn in it. And so, yeah, so I think that it's great that you've had a variety of different clients. You've been able to research them. You've been able to pull your knowledge from what you learned through the program, and then obviously build on that knowledge because now you're instructing. So you've been through the course quite a few times. So you're just building on that knowledge, which is really awesome. Yeah. I wanted to say too, if anyone's like resonating with the Nutritional Therapy Association and you're looking to study, at the moment, the February intake is open. That's for the American classes. Obviously, I'm talking American here at the moment. So it's fully online. It goes for almost 10 months now, 10 months. There's multiple classes starting in February. So if you've been thinking about it, now's a really great time. If you want to know more information, there's a link on our Low Carb Conversations website. I think there's even a button that says, do you want our job or something like that? Of course you do. Of course you do. We have so much fun. Why wouldn't you want to? And also, like I would say, all 3 of us would be more than happy to have a chat to anyone if they were unsure. So there's I think like a little page on the contact page on the website. So you can come there and just flick us a message if you've got any questions, and one of us can help you answer it. And then in Australia, the Nutritional Therapy Association is just a little bit different. They're still doing the functional testing and in-person workshops where they can, and online. So it's like a hybrid of it. And the February intake is open too. You just need to go to a different website, which is ntaaustralia.com.au, and then find out the information there. So it's a little bit structured a little bit differently. If you're thinking about studying in Australia, New Zealand, or that kind of Asian region, we're taking intake from people all around there. So anyway, enough about that. One thing I did want to ask you, Patti, was whereabouts can people find you best? Is it on Instagram? Is that where you like to hang?
I am on Instagram under Nurture by Nature Nutrition. And I also have a website with the same name, nurturebynature.nutrition.com, where I have lots of articles and recipes and information that you can learn about nutrition, as well as, if you want some assistance or have some questions, feel free to hit me up. I'm down.
Sounds awesome. We'll put that into the show notes for everyone so they can get to know you a bit better. And so one of the reasons we wanted Patti on today, we just thought we'd have a casual chat. We're going to be talking, Holly and I thought we'd be talking about the like your stress and mental health during the holiday season. We've all of us, I'd say, probably been going through some pretty like stressful times. Like some of it's good stress, like it's, the busyness of the end of year, like a lot of people go through. I've had, my son has just graduated primary school. So we had like lots of events on for him finishing school, which was really exciting. So that's like fun stress, but a lot like busyness, a lot of busyness going on there. And then also, the the stress on the body of having to make food choices while you're out and navigating restaurants, because we've been eating out quite a bit as well. We even had yum cha on one of the nights, which was really difficult to try and navigate anything that was reasonably healthy there. But it was also pretty delicious food. And so I'm going to hand over to Holly, and she's got an article about this, and she might even share some of her stress that she's been going through as well.
Yeah. Oh, I saw something on Instagram today, because it's what you do when you're trying to relieve stress, you scroll. And there was a woman who posed a really good question. And it was just like, hey, are the holidays, is this time of year stressful for you? It doesn't have to be. And so I kind of want to stick with that theme as we go through our conversation today. And yes, I found an article. This was from the Seattle Times, and it's just titled "How to Protect Your Mental Health During the Stressful Holiday Season." And whether you want the holidays to be stressful or not, it is just a busy time of year for a lot of people, especially like Leah, you touched on it, like people with children. There's always something going on with school or with sports. And like everyone's having a party for every little thing. And it's just, we pack in so much in such a small amount of time. Even the healthiest people can go a little crazy during these last couple months of the year. So this article, just a quick summary for our listeners. It says, with those holidays comes a slew of stress and complications, navigating complex family dynamics, intrusive questions from well-meaning relatives, worries about finances. That's a big one for people this time of year, or just how to make the most out of your time away from work. Because a lot of people take time off and they think, oh, I'm going to have time off, I'm going to relax through the holidays. But really, sometimes we find ourselves with time off trying to cram everything we can into that time off, because we don't get it very often. So I just wanted to have a conversation around this today. And how do we navigate those things, and just more of like things that we've done for ourselves or things we've recommended for clients that have been helpful. So why don't we just start it off there?
It sounds good.
Okay.
And I like the theme of, it doesn't have to be stressful, because I did like just download a whole lot of like how stressful my life has just been with that. It doesn't have to be that way. I feel like one thing that definitely gets me through is sticking to routine, like keeping the same, like where I can, keeping the same routine. So like I always start the day with a really good breakfast, that even if I can't get the other good meals in, other meals aren't so great. Like if I'm eating at lunch and dinner or something like that, breakfast is like my non-negotiable. It's always my eggs and veggie and sometimes a bit of pasture-raised bacon or whatever it is. But it's always the healthy combination of balanced macronutrients to keep me sustained through the day. And then the routine also of sticking to my exercise routine during that time, whenever I can, just grab a yoga class or Pilates class or doing some weights or something like that. So that's how I kind of stick to, like, I keep some of the normal things in. I don't completely take everything out and just go, oh, well, I've given up now. I'm going to lay on the couch and Netflix.
Yeah. Well, you brought up a good point there with breakfast, definitely with routines, but I think just having that routine of keeping breakfast as a good, balanced, healthy meal and starting off with proteins and fats, because as the days go on and maybe our schedules don't look as normal as they used to, if we can start the days with those proteins and fats, that's going to keep our brains functioning well, and it's going to make us less likely to be reaching for those quick pick-me-ups like the cookies that someone brings in, or just grabbing a bagel out the door, which is then going to snowball into having blood sugar imbalances and reaching for more sugary things to keep us going. Do you have any thoughts around that, Patty?
Yeah, I am more of a nighttime routine person because my schedule is varied every day. So it's hard to stick with the morning time routine for me. So my nighttime routine is where I kind of keep it in check. So we will always, after we eat dinner, we take the dog out, and I'm usually the one that cooks. So my husband does the dishes. We have that nice little balance going. And that's when I do my self-care. I'll wash my face and put my creams on. And then we take the dog out and we walk around and get our bodies moving so that we can digest our food that we just ate and get ourselves in a nice, relaxed state. I will do some nice sleep sounds, or kind of like little stories to go to sleep, like through Headspace is a great app that I use to get that going. And then just kind of like get yourself relaxed and calm so you're ready to go to sleep and you don't have that cortisol just pumping through the night, all out of balance, like you were talking about with the blood sugar. So I kind of attack it from a different angle, but it's still the same concept. You don't want your blood sugar to be out of balance. So that way you're rested. And when you wake up, you feel awake and not like, oh my God, did I even sleep last night? So yeah.
That's so great, because if we can prioritize those evening routines and keep our sleep in check, if we are sleeping well, that's going to make us more likely to make a better decision when it comes to breakfast. And then that's also going to help keep our mood stabilized, our blood sugar stabilized, everything. It's like you can't really separate anything from the picture when it comes to trying to manage stress during this time of year, because they all go hand in hand and they all have a cascade effect in some way or another.
Yeah, definitely. And I think just trying to try and, like we've been talking about, having the solid meal, whether it's breakfast or dinner or whatever like that, but it also just those unnecessary kind of pickings and like you were saying, Holly, staying away from the cookies. But I know the kids bring home lots of stuff that I usually try and throw in the rubbish bin when they're not looking. They always know though, these children, like, Mom, I had 5 candy canes. Where have they gone? But yeah, just unnecessarily picking when you're not hungry, that kind of thing. Just because it's there doesn't mean that you have to kind of pick it up, because then, that's going to dysregulate the blood sugar. I find too, because maybe you're tired, you're reaching for more and more coffee and things like that, trying to wind that back a little bit. Like, I'm still drinking decaf, because from the start of the year, I switched over to decaf. So I try and even just limit the decaf to 1 a day, so that I'm not drinking a lot of kind of unnecessary almond or coconut or macadamia milk or whatever it is that I'm drinking, so just staying away from those. What about you, Holly? Anything else to add in that?
No, because I honestly, I haven't really been keeping any routines. So adding routines right now would just be another stress. But really the big things for me this year, because everything's so new for us. For those listeners who don't know, this is our first year living in a new state. We don't have any family. We don't have any friends. So the holidays look completely different to us this year. We don't have the same traditions. It's just nothing's the same. And so what I'm really trying to do this year is just protect my energy. And that is from a lot of different angles, from the pressures of family for us not going home, from the pressures that I'm putting on myself. I think as women and as mothers, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to make things special and perfect. And I'm feeling that extra this year because it is new. I'm trying to avoid my kids wishing that they were home with cousins. And so it's like I'm putting a bunch of extra pressure on myself and creating more internal stress for myself. So I'm trying to set those boundaries, yes, with family, but also with myself, because sometimes I think during this time of year, the most stress comes internally. It's the stress we put on ourselves.
Yeah, that's so true. And those family stresses, I think what did it say in the article? It's kind of talks about how maybe you're compounding everything and making that more stressful than it needs to be. And so one thing we do, which probably doesn't sound great when you say it out loud, but we basically take off. We go away for Christmas. We don't stay around. We actually choose to have our own little family unit Christmas away from the stresses or perceived stresses that could be coming in due to whatever pressures of Christmas happens. So, or holiday season happens. So doesn't mean we still don't have time with the family, that we will go and have a family lunch the week before Christmas. And so we all meet up then. And it kind of takes the pressure away of that, just that one day having to have so much pressure on it. I was finding that we would often go to like my mum's house, and she'd be completely stressed out from perceived stress, trying to make sure everybody's happy and all the different dietary requirements everybody has, and trying to feed everybody. And it's just too much, too much of everything. So that's when we decided we would just avoid that situation altogether, go to a restaurant, have a nice family meal. The family all still gets together. And then we actually go up the beach for Christmas and have a nice little family time up there without any of the pressures. And because it's summer here in Australia, we can get away with that. And we just, usually eat some fresh seafood and salads for Christmas lunch, and then we're done.
That sounds so nice.
It does.
Yeah.
Let's just all go on a holiday with Leah.
Yeah,
I think that's
right.
wonderful.
Oh,
We should all do that.
I'd love that. Yeah, friends are invited. Just kidding. Patti, what do you do about perceived stress? Sorry.
Yeah. For me and my family, we have been living. So as I'm originally from Florida, but for the last 9 years, we have been living in Southern California. And this past July, we moved to North Carolina. So same as you, Holly, new state, no family, no friends, just us. In Southern California, my brother and his girlfriend live there. So we don't have any family at all. However, we're still closer to our family now because we're on the same coast, North Carolina and Florida. And what we have done in the past to help alleviate some of the stressors of the holiday, because it's challenging when you live so far away. It's hard to spend time with family. However, we utilized, and finances are always an issue, right? Because it's stressful just to spend all this money on all these people. And you have to ship every gift because they're all in different places. So what we've done in the past is we have established no gift Christmases. And instead, we had decided to devote time to each other. It's like, okay, we're going to come see you. We're going to come see you. We'll spend extra Zoom call time. We'll, we would plan things out as gifts to spend time with each other, as opposed to giving a material object as the gift.
Love that.
And that, for me, was a huge stress reliever, because you're not thinking like, oh my God, how much money am I going to be spending this year? And how many people? And everybody's got kids, and we don't have kids, so they didn't have to worry about buying gifts for kids for us. So we're buying, brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles, and I'm like, I can't take this. So that's one of the boundaries that we set in the past to relieve some stress. And on top of that, we've just planned out time, because we have two different families. And so with my husband's family, we would always do Christmas Eve with his family, and then Christmas Day with my family. So that way it was all planned out, and nobody had to freak out about like, well, you didn't spend enough time with me, and I didn't spend enough time with you, and all that added stress. So planning out how you're going to handle family during the holidays is a good way to eliminate some of that unnecessary stress.
Yeah, and that's a good point that the article also touched on too, is just the act of planning, and whether it's around finances and presents or travel and stuff, or whether it's cooking and all the things that go. If you just have a plan ahead of time, then that is going to relieve so much stress, rather than just leaving it up in the air.
Yeah, definitely.
And I was thinking as you were talking, Patti, I was like, isn't that the meaning of Christmas anyway? Like just spending time with each other and not all this, what it's turned out to be. I mean, we're just, I know, just see everything. It's just like it's just been, what is it? Black Friday, and then Cyber Monday. And then it's like Christmas coming up. It's all the pre-Christmas sales. You got Christmas, and then we have Boxing Day here in Australia, which is like Black Friday. So they go, it's all the sales, and then it's, it's just so much. It's just like, what about just spending time with each other?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes that's all people really just want. It's just like this. And you were talking earlier, Holly, about you have the time off of work. And that's what you should be doing with your time, is spending time with the people you love instead of worrying about if they're going to like your gift or not. Because the gift is you. You're the gift.
That's right. I love that.
I've been telling my family that for a long time, and I just don't know if they agree yet. It's like, I am the gift, you guys.
You are the gift. And I just love the downtime too, where you can just like, for me, I'm just like excited to be able to read a novel on the beach, and like a novel that's not a nutrition textbook or just something cheesy I can just lay around and read, because I've got that downtime and be able to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I like to watch all the sappy holiday movies.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, there is one thing in the article. So we've already touched on being mindful, planning ahead. And the last thing that the article talked about was taking time for yourself, which we just touched on. And yeah, instead of cramming up your schedule with just trying to do everything, just take that time to relax and to recalibrate. Or if you absolutely need to do something, now is a perfect time to reflect on the year that has just passed and think, how did things go? How would you like to make changes? And maybe start thinking about the year ahead. Like if you need to do something. I know there's those people that just have to be busy and doing something. So that's a way to have some you time and also be busy by planning the future.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. I'm already looking forward to holidays now. Well, I was already, but even more so now.
Definitely.
I feel every year they just sneak up on us.
Well, there's not so much time, right? Like it's only 30 days from Thanksgiving to Christmas, at least for the Americans. So,
Right.
And then you feel like, oh my gosh, I only have 3 weeks to really get prepared.
Yeah. Yep. Well, and I think we can all help each other by when we run into people or when we're seeing friends and family and they're asking how you are. I think we could all really help each other by not responding with talking about how busy we are, or because that seems to be like the common response where we're just like, oh, 'tis the season. It's just that time where go, go, go. Where I think if we were to start modeling more relaxation and choosing not to have the stress and not to put out that illusion of stress or feed that image of stress, I think that also gives people a way to feel free to also say no to the stress. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right. I think you need to find the joy in the moment as opposed to thinking about the next moment. Just enjoy and spend time in the moment you're in and take pleasure in that and allow yourself to have a good time when you can.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been talking about, I feel like, this topic for so long of like the busyness, like I'm not finding my words right now, but how like trendy it is to be busy and how everybody's just busy. And we've been trying to break away from that. And even though maybe we have for most of the year, it somehow creeps back in this time. So maybe just continuing with making busy be not cool.
Yeah,
that's right.
I'm on
and I
board.
like that, being there in the moment, being present and not thinking about the next moment, because you'll miss the moment that you're already in. So yeah, I think that at the end of the year, people are often thinking that, where's the year gone? It's gone so quick, because were you present in the moment? It hasn't actually gone quicker. It's still the same.
Yeah. And maybe just to like circle back to the beginning of the conversation with Leah and starting with the good foods, I think it's just important to also touch on the fact that if we are continuing to eat nutrient dense foods and avoid those extra processed foods, and I know they're everywhere right now, and it is harder to avoid, but maybe not indulging as much, because the more we can stay away from those things and continually like nourish our bodies through the times, the more resilient we are to being able to resist that stress, and the less frazzled we'll become because we're able to make good decisions from a well-rested place.
Yeah.
So true. And also, if you are going to eat the food, enjoy it. Don't associate it with the guilt,
Yes.
because that's
Yes,
another
yes,
big
yes.
issue there. So if you're going to have the cookies, just make sure you enjoy those cookies and then move on.
There's that meme or something going around, or it's like that voice clip where someone asks, like, what are your plans for the end of the year? It's like, I'm just gonna eat bread and get all fat and happy. It's like, yeah, own it. Like, that's what you're gonna do. Don't feel guilty about it. You own it.
Yeah. Also, then don't put that pressure on yourself that you got to do something about it at the other end. How about, finding that balance somewhere in between where you can still enjoy yourself, let it go, but then next morning you're back on your breakfast, or next dinner you're back on your dinner.
Yeah, I saw something today that was so awesome. It's like, break your day up into quarters, like a sports game. You have first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. And just because maybe you mess up in the first quarter, we'll call that breakfast, you have 3 more quarters to go. So you can always come back and win the game, no matter how ugly it starts.
I like it.
That's good. Yeah. It's a good one.
All right. Well, I know you gave a little bit of a teaser, Leah, kind of talking about starting the new year and stuff, but I know that's going to be an episode we have coming up. We've kind of touched on it, of maybe starting new schedules or new routines in the new year, and how we're going to do some goal planning. So stay tuned for a future episode.
That's right. We've got a good episode coming up where I talk to a psychologist about New Year's and setting New Year's intentions. So that's coming up in a few weeks. So make sure to watch out for that one. It's going to be a good one.
Perfect timing. All right. Was there anything else in this article that we wanted to touch on, or anything else we want to say on this topic?
No, I think that, I like the messages in the article to plan ahead, be mindful, take time to yourself. I think they're all really important messages that we can all take a leaf from. And the perceived stress, I think that what we can do to manage that perceived stress, are we putting all that pressure on ourselves, and finding ways to, take a step back from that, be present in the moment. There you go. Just recapped everything we talked about there. But there are such good messages. So, yeah.
Yeah, you nourish your body, you nourish your mind, and everything will be fine. Just have to take the time for yourself and eat the good foods and take care of yourself first.
Yep. If you could do one thing for yourself this season during the holidays, to prevent burnout and to prevent even like that sickness that goes around this time of year, is to just stop creating that stress, because all that extra stress just puts more of a burden on our body, and it makes us more susceptible to getting sick, and it makes us more susceptible to falling victim to all the negative things about the season that we don't like. So I like it.
Yeah, that's right. And just finding those little things that you can do to make things easier as well, if there is that perceived stress. Like, I know just the other day, the shops are already getting crazy. The car parks are full. And that's something that I find really stressful, is trying to find a car park when you're just going to the shop. So quite often I'll just go and catch the bus. And, if I have shopping bags or whatever I need to bring back, I just ring my husband and get him to pick me up from the bus stop. And then that way I don't have that stress of fighting with people through the traffic and things like that. It's just like, I'm on the bus, it takes me straight to the shop, I do what I need to do, and then I come back. So just finding those little things that can take some of that stress off you as well.
Yep. You're so resourceful. And I like how you say car park.
Car park.
It took me a minute. That's a parking spot, right? A car park?
Yeah, like a, what do you call them? Parking lot. Yeah. Right. Car park.
Car park.
With my shopping trolley. That's what I go with. Fine, you guys can gang up and laugh on me now, being the only accent here.
I like it.
It gives us a little spice.
That's right.
I like your accent.
Thank you.
All right.
right.
So I think that's it.
the
Yeah.
end. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. That is the end of today's episode. Our theme music is created by Andrew Bowden, and production services are by Kevin Kennedy Spain of Disc of Light Media. Have a great week, everyone. And don't forget to check out our dear friend Patti on Instagram at
Nurture by
Nurture
nature
by
nutrition.
Nurture by Nature Nutrition. Yes, just I think of naughty by nature, nurture by nature.
Yeah. I was thinking that too. You're down with the PP? Yeah, you know me.
Okay, we got off. You know who listened to 90s hip hop. All right, have a great week, everyone.